E aí, pessoal, bem-vindos ao canal Amigo Gringo. É Julho e cada mês a gente convida um professor de inglês para participar com a gente e para ajudar vocês no seu inglês, e sempre é algo interessante. Hoje vamos aprender o que significam letras de várias músicas, e é com um professor que canta. Ele canta durante as aulas. Claro que ele é professor do Cambly, que apresenta Amigo Gringo Responde na sexta-feira, o que significa que podem usar sua aula de graça usando o nosso código, que é GringoNY20. Daqui a pouco vamos conhecer o Tevante, o nosso professor do mês. Ele vive em South Carolina, um estado muito lindo, com comida muito boa no sul dos Estados Unidos. Antes de conectar com o Tevante, só um anúncio breve. Cambly tem uma novidade, que agora na plataforma você não só tem acesso a milhares, não sei se são milhares, centenas de tutores diferentes, mas também você pode escolher um currículo que vai fazer com esses professores. Ou seja, pode ser, eu preciso de conversação básica. Tem um currículo de 10 aulas de conversação básica. Você pode dizer, eu preciso de inglês para negócios. Bom, tem para negócios. Não, eu quero falar de algo que me interessa. Tem cinema e TV. Tem meio ambiente. A plataforma está melhorando, mas a melhor parte ainda são os tutores, os professores, e vamos conhecer o Tevante agora.
Hey, Seth.
Hey,
how are you?
Tevante, am I pronouncing your name right?
Yes, that's
All right. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. It's so nice to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you too. I'm excited about this video today. Can you tell everyone, just introduce yourself? Where do you live? How did you get into teaching English?
Yeah, so my name is Tevante. I live in South Carolina, United States. And how I got into teaching is that last year I moved to Madrid, Spain, and I taught English there for 9 months. And yeah, I moved there right after graduating from university. So I liked it so much. And so I decided to continue teaching online.
And it's funny, you're from South Carolina, which I associate with having a very strong Southern accent, but you don't have too much of an accent. Do you do that on purpose, or?
I think I know how to, cut it on and off really well because I've lived abroad.
Oh.
So I know how hard it is for people to understand a language. And sometimes when I try to learn Spanish, like if you're talking you're not opening your mouth, it's really hard to understand. Right. But with family, sometimes it can get pretty bad.
We all of course change the way we talk when we speak to family. But that's curious. I mean, people are always wondering about accents. I can definitely tell you're not from New York, and maybe have a Southern twang in there, but it's not very strong at all. It kind of sounds nice. Okay, so anyway, down to business. I hear that when you teach, you like to use music a lot. How does that work?
Yeah, so I like to use music. I like to sing, and a lot of people aren't really comfortable with singing, but when I do sing, it's really cool to like see them light up. They're like, oh, like, it's kind of like an icebreaker too, and it makes them more comfortable to say, oh, like I like to dance, and and it's pretty good with conversation.
We're gonna do a few songs today, and I know then we're going to like look at the lyrics and maybe try to get a little English lesson out of them. So what do you got for me to start?
Yeah,
I'm ready for the show.
Let's start with "Human Nature" by Michael
Give
Jackson.
me a little bit of that. Let's hear it.
Looking out across the nighttime. The city winks a sleepless eye. Hear her voice shake my window. A sweet seducing sighs. What?
We don't get the chorus? Tevante, come on. Sing the chorus.
If they say why? Tell them that it's human nature. Why? Does he do me that way? If they say why? Tell him that it's human nature. Why? Does he do me that way?
All right. A round of applause. Everyone around Brazil is giving you a round of applause. All right. I noticed something in the first lyrics there. So, looking out across the nighttime, the city winks a sleepless eye. What does that mean? The city winks a sleepless eye. Explain that lyric to me.
Yeah. So, the city winks a sleepless eye. It means that there's no sleep. So when you see sleepless, it means there's no sleep. Just like if you use the word meaningless or I'm computerless, it means that I don't have
So sleepless means, and we use it, I guess, like I could say I spent a sleepless night worrying about my meeting the next day, which means, of course, that I had no sleep. It's just, and I don't think you can do that in Portuguese. So that's a great tip for everybody. You can use less, tack it onto words. Sometimes it's a real word, we all know. I think you just said meaningless, right? So sem sentido, sem significado. But that's a real word in English, meaningless. But what was the other one you said?
Computerless.
Okay, computerless. Now, computerless, that's not a real word, right? But can people use it?
In conversation, sometimes we just add words here and there.
Yeah, you can kind of make up your own words, right? Computerless. Okay, that's a great English lesson from that song. Okay, let's go do song number 2. What's next?
Song number 2 is Rihanna, 4 or 5 seconds. Now I'm 4 or 5 seconds from wildin', and we got 3 more days till Friday. I'm just trying to make it back home by Monday morning. I swear I wish somebody would tell me, ooh, that's all I want. It's a little high,
that's great. Even the title, 4 or 5 seconds. What does that mean? It doesn't mean 45 seconds.
4 or 5 seconds is like, I'm so close. Yeah. I'm so close to doing it. And to be honest, this is the first time I've heard of that phrase in this song. But instantly, we just knew what it meant. I'm just so close.
Yeah, what she's saying is 4 or 5 seconds. Don't you think? But she's just not saying the or?
Yeah, that could be it. Maybe that's why, so it can fit into the phrase.
Right. If we wrote down, we would say 4 or 5 seconds. But if we're singing, she just says 4 or 5 seconds. 4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah, I think in so many songs they do this. And that's why, even as a native English speaker, I have to look up the lyrics because I'm just trying to figure out what these artists are saying.
It's funny to see 4 or 5 seconds just written out because it doesn't look right. But then you hear it, 4 or 5 seconds. I understood it as 4 or 5 seconds. I'm sure if I'm wrong, there'll be plenty of people writing in as in comments to tell me that. They love to do that.
Yeah. Also, the word wildin'.
Oh, yeah.
Did we talk about it?
Yeah, go for it.
So wildin' is like when you're doing something really crazy or you're going all out. Either it can mean you're like really funny or you just really hype. You have a lot of energy. So
I'm going to show my age here as if don't show it already. For me, that reminds me of the old days in New York where to wild or to go wilding would be like it was kind of, I think, even like a racist term that you'd refer to like teenagers or adolescents going through Central Park most famously and just kind of terrorizing people. But that also led to this whole Central Park 5 thing. That's when everyone started to hear about it. And we all know what happened with the Central Park 5. Even on Netflix, you could see these in Brazil, these kids that were wrongfully accused of rape and assault. So it kind of reminds me of a dark day in history, but I guess that word is now back with a little bit more of a positive meaning to it. You know, the other thing I don't really know is whether that would be something more likely to be used by African Americans or if young white people use it as well. Do you have any idea?
Probably more so used with African Americans.
Well, I do know that my nephew, who's in high school, often will use lyrics from songs that started out that are essentially, to me, sound like African-American slang. And we used to do this when we were in high school, too, right? Listen to rap songs and then borrow the phrases from that. It's kind of a phenomenon in the United States.
Yeah, like everybody can use it. Everybody uses it. It just takes some time to know how to use it.
And of course, that's just part of the whole African-American culture and music and arts just being everywhere in American society. Like it reaches out everywhere. All right, let's do it. We're getting carried away here. Let's do it. Let's do another song. What do you got?
All right, so the next song is Billionaire by Bruno Mars.
All right, I know that one.
I want to be a billionaire so freaking bad. Buy all of the things I've never had. I want to be on the cover of Forbes magazine. Standing next to Oprah and the Queen.
Wow. Well, the one thing I noticed first is that I actually looked up the lyrics, and it does not say freaking in the lyrics. It has another word in there, which I will not say.
Yeah, it's freaking. So that word is a lot less strong. So if you go around saying freak also has different meanings.
What does freak mean? What does freak mean to you?
Freak can be crazy person, and by crazy is someone kind of weirdly crazy. It's like, oh, you're a freak. Oh, like she's a freak. Exactly. Like she's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I would definitely use that.
You know?
Wow, what a freak! Like someone who does something completely unexpected and inappropriate.
And then freak is also used as a filler word for
other word that we're not saying.
Profane word.
And that's just because it sounds like it, right? Freaking or
Boot Up by LMA. Ooh, no, I'll never get over you. Something new, get me high like you do. Listen to my heart go battle, boot up, and dee da boot up.
Okay, so I got a couple questions for you then. So I noticed the word get is used a bunch of times. I'll never get over you. So that's a phrasal verb. At least they love talking about phrasal verbs in Brazil, because get, you tack on anything to it, it can mean something different. So get over, to get over someone, what does that mean?
Get over means that you move on. That's another phrasal verb. So like to get over or to move on is, say, for instance, you are in a relationship and you're done with the person. Maybe the person broke up with you and you're just done. So you get over that person.
Perfect. And then I noticed get is in here again. That get me high like you do. So that's to get high. That's not exactly a phrasal verb, but it's using get in an expression. So get high.
Mainly that means if you're, I guess, smoking something like an herb, but also
you're so delicate. You're so delicate in your explanation.
Yeah, but also get me high is like you raise my energy, you raise my spirits.
Yeah. So it's almost as if you're like a drug getting me high. And then I gotta just ask, listen to my heart go badu booed up. Boo is like one of these words that I'm just in a generation that doesn't use it. So tell me what boo is and what booed up is.
A boo is someone that's your partner or your boyfriend or girlfriend, or a boo is someone you are talking to. Like you're not a boyfriend or a girlfriend yet, but y'all are cuddling, y'all are dating.
Okay, I like it. Stages. So then what does booed up mean?
When I'm booed up, that means I have my boo with me, or that means that you are not single.
Right. Tavante, that was awesome. That was so much fun. And so people can find you on Cambly. We'll put the link to your page in the description. They can use their free minutes to get in touch with you and hopefully become your permanent student if they get addicted to your mellifluous, honeyed voice.
Yeah, Seth, thank you for having me.
No worries. You'll be back in the next couple weeks to tell us what musicians you think that we might not have heard of we should be listening to, right? So every Friday, every Friday for the rest of July, you'll be participating in Amigo Gringo Responde. Thanks a lot, Tavante. See you later.
Thank you. Bye.